All right, today we are diving into one of the most chilling and honestly perfectly crafted short stories ever written, Saki's The Interlopers. So this story, it kicks off with something so small, a really petty squabble over a totally worthless piece of land. But believe me, it ends with this huge, terrifying truth about our place in the world. Let's get into it. So, picture this. We're dropped right into a wind-scoured winter night, deep in the Carpathian Mountains, and the whole mood is set by this bitter conflict that has poisoned two families for 3 whole generations.
And the core of this feud? It's almost laughable. It all started with a lawsuit generations ago over a piece of land that was so worthless, even one of our main characters, Ulrich von Grodwitz, ends up calling it a stupid strip of forest. Just completely pointless.
Now, what's really striking here is that Ulrich and George aren't just enemies. They're basically perfect mirror images of each other. They are both completely driven by the exact same personal ill will, and they're both out there in the dark forest with murder as the #1 thing on their minds. So you've got both men out in the woods stalking each other, each one hoping to finally end this whole thing with a rifle shot. But, well, their deadly plans are about to be interrupted, abruptly and violently. And then it happens. They find each other. This is the moment they've been wishing for their entire lives. But in that split second of hesitation, that moment where they're about to act on a lifetime of inherited hate, something else does. A massive storm sends this huge beech tree crashing down. It just thunders to the ground, and boom, it pins both men. They're helpless, trapped right next to the very person they wanted to kill just seconds before. And just like that, the one force they both totally ignored in their little fight, nature itself, just ended their conflict for them. Now they're trapped together, and all that lifelong hatred is suddenly completely and utterly powerless. But what happens next is just fascinating. I mean, you'd think, pinned under a tree, their first instinct would be survival, right? Nope, it's to keep fighting. They start trading these bitter threats, each one promising a pretty grim fate for the other when their men show up. But, as they lie there suffering together, something remarkable starts to happen. A real transformation. And it all begins with this tiny, simple, human gesture. Ulrich, he actually feels a throb of pity and offers his enemy a drink from his wine flask. With that one declaration from George, a whole lifetime of hate just dissolves. These two men, mortal enemies just moments ago, now start dreaming about a peaceful future. They each start praying that their own men will be the first to arrive, but not for revenge. They want to be the first to show honor and help their new friend. It's a total 180. So as they're lying there, waiting for a rescue that now means a brand new beginning, they hear something moving in the woods. United for the first time, they shout for help, their voices just carrying on the wind. And then you get this moment of pure hope. Ulrich is absolutely ecstatic. He sees rescuers coming. He's sure his men have arrived to save them both, and this is their chance to actually live out their newfound peace. George, who's been blinded by blood, can't really see anything clearly, so he asks for confirmation, just full of hope. But Ulrich's happy tone is just gone. There's only silence. This right here is the story's terrifying pivot. That one single word, no, and it's delivered with this laugh of pure, unadulterated horror. It instantly flips all their hope into absolute, hideous fear.
The rescuers they see, they're not men. The final word of the story says everything you need to know. Wolves.
So why does this twist work so perfectly? I mean, why is it so chilling? Well, the answer lies in Saki's absolutely masterful use of something called situational irony. Think about it. The men finally make peace. They're planning this whole new future together, only to be killed together by a common enemy that isn't even human. It is the exact brutal opposite of the hopeful future they had just mapped out for themselves. The genius of the story is layered right into its title. The whole idea of who the interlopers are, it just shifts dramatically as you read. At first you think it's the rival humans. Then you start to realize, wait, maybe it's humanity itself, imposing its dumb quarrels on the natural world. But in the end, it's clear. The true interlopers are the indifferent, deadly forces of nature.
So, when you get right down to it, Saki uses nature as way more than just a backdrop. It's a powerful, active character in its own right. The storm, the tree, the wolves, they all work together to deliver one single, brutal message. Our human fights are totally, completely meaningless in the face of the wild.
And that's the chilling thought Saki leaves us with. He really forces us to look at our own grudges, our own pride, all our rivalries, and ask ourselves, what do they really matter in the grand and often brutal scheme of things?